today we are doing powers of exponents. Yesterday we were working on basic exponents. So now we are working with powers of exponents. So our learning goal is that students will be able to use the laws of exponents to find powers of monomials. Remember that you need to write down absolutely everything that is typed or written in this video, and pause this video at any time you need to slow things down or write things down. So as a little bell ringer, if we are trying to evaluate these two using what we learned yesterday, I'm going to write them all out. So I've got 6 times, I need 8 x's, then I need a 5, and then I need 2 more x's. And remember, yesterday what we said was combining like terms. So if I was putting all these x's together, okay, we would have x to the 10th power, and then 6 times 5 gives us 30. So we've got 30 times x to the 10th power. Remember, when we are dealing with variables, which are just letters that stand for unknown numbers, and numbers, our numbers always come before the variables. Okay, so it would be 30 times x to the 10th power. Okay, over here, we've got 3 to the 6th power. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that is being divided by 3 times 3. Remember, if we've got 3 divided by 3, that becomes 1, so we can cancel those. And 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. So really this is 3 to the 4th power, okay, or 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, and then 9 times 9 is 81. So the answer to this one is 81. Okay, so powers means exponents have exponents. So if we were doing powers of exponents, that means that our base is 5, and then that is to the 2nd power, and then we are taking this whole thing to the 3rd power. So it means this whole section is written 3 times, because exponents means that's how many times we are multiplying it by itself. So if we've got 5 squared and it's to the 3rd power, that means we need to have 3 5 squareds. And if we wrote each one of these out, 5 squared is 5 times 5. This 5 squared is 5 times 5. And this 5 squared is 5 times 5. And if you count all of our 5s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this would be 5 to the 6th power. Now, if you notice, okay, so here's the shortcut. You do not have to rewrite what is in black, you just wrote that down. So you need to write down, though, what is in red. This is important. To find the power of a power, you just multiply the exponents. So this is the shortcut. Instead of doing what we just did, where we wrote out every single thing and then we wrote it out again and then we counted all of our 5s and then got our answer, what you can do is just multiply your 2 exponents together. So 2 times 3 gives us 6. So it's 5 to the 6th power. So let's practice. We've got 2 to the 3rd power to the 2nd power. So again, we are just multiplying. Okay, so we've got 2 to the 3rd power and we're taking it to the 2nd power. So what we're doing is we're multiplying these two together. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. So our answer is going to be 2 to the 6th power. Again, you could have written this out as 2 to the 3rd power, but writing it twice because we're taking it to the 2nd power. But then you would have to write these 3 times. So 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the shortcut. So I would much rather, if I were you, do the shortcut instead of having to write all of this out. Okay, let's practice the shortcut. So we are multiplying our 2 exponents together. 3 times 3 gives me 9. So it's going to be, my base is 4, and then to the 9th power. Here we have m to the 4th power, and we are multiplying our two exponents together. So 4 times 3 gives me 12, so it's going to be m to the 12th power. Okay, here it looks more complicated, but again, we are just taking all of our exponents and multiplying them together. So we are just multiplying 2 times 2, which is 4, and then multiplying that number times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, so it's going to be 3 to the 12th power. Remember, your base is the big number, and it stays the big number. So then you're just multiplying your three exponents together to get our final answer. Okay, again, we're multiplying our exponents together. So 2 times 2 gives me 4, and 4 times 2 gives me 8. So my base is still 4, and my exponent is now 8. Okay, here, this 8 does not show that it has an exponent. So if it doesn't show that it has one, it's understood to be the exponent is 1. So 8 to the 1st power, remember we are multiplying this exponent by both of the exponents inside the parentheses. So it would be 3 times 1, so 8 to the 3rd power, because 3 times 1 gives me 3. And then c is 3 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So c to the 24th. I'm going to do this one again because this one is a little bit confusing. This 8 has to be to the 1st power because there's only one 8 that we see here. We are distributing this 3 on the outside of the parentheses. This is our exponent, 3, and we are distributing that to each of the exponents inside the parentheses. So 3 times 1 gives me 3, so that's my first exponent, and then 3 times 8 gives me 24, so c to the 24th. Okay. Okay, here again this looks confusing, but it's not. This -3 is to the 1st power because if there's not a power there, it's understood to be 1. Okay, and then we are distributing the 5 to each one of them. So 5 times 1 is 5, so that's -3 to the 5th power. 5 times 5 is 25, so it's a to the 25th. And then 5 times 12 is 60, so it'll be b to the 60th. And again, if it asked us to simplify this further, you could, because we can figure out using a calculator or without a calculator that -3 to the 5th power, what that is. So again, if we were able to use a calculator, we would just put this in our calculator. Okay, we would put -3 and then put that in there 5 times. So times -3, that's 2, times -3, that's 3, times -3, that's 4, times -3, that's 5. And then press equals. And it's -243. So this could be simplified further to -243, a to the 25th times b to the 60th. Okay, and our final answer, our final one, 6 is to the 1st power. Again, it's understood that it's only to the 1st power because there is not an exponent there. And again, we are taking our exponent on the outside to each of the exponents on the inside of the parentheses. So 5 times 1 gives me 5, so that's going to be 6 to the 5th power. And 5 times 4 gives us 20, so it would be m to the 20th. Again, if it asked you to simplify further, you could find out what 6 to the 5th power is by just multiplying 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. I know that this is 36. I know that this is 36. So 36 times 36 times 6. Again, you could put this into your calculator and get 7,776 times m to the 20th. So if it asked you to simplify or evaluate, this would be your answer. I guess you couldn't evaluate fully if you didn't know what m was equal to. It could tell you that m is equal to 2, and then you would be able to evaluate it. But if it's asking you to fully simplify, you would need to figure out what 6 to the 5th power really is. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.